A very good afternoon, I bid to General Dr. Sri Raja Tan Sri bin Haji Zainuddin, Chairman of AHAN Asset Management, respected trustees of Yayasan Tunku Abdul Rahman, esteemed partners and supporters, scholars and alumni, members of the media, and all of our honored guests. This is my father, actually. And when I was growing up, I always wondered why he could not stop sharing with me stories about his childhood. In his kampong called Saratok, which is about 5 to 6 hours away from Kuching, where I was born and raised in, he shared a lot about the simplicity and poverty of his time, about living in a place and time of no electricity, bathing in clear but icy waters in a nearby stream, trekking through jungles in the wee hours of the morning to go to school, and also the strangeness of meeting an American Peace Corps member of fair skin and light hair. And when darkness fails, how studying or life, for that matter, can only happen under the dimly lit flames of a kerosene lamp. He also shared with me about the hustle of his youth, moving into a small leaky shop house in Kuching for his first job, and not with a degree, but really just perseverance and grit. And also, eventually, the support system that supported my father, he eventually succeeded in earning a living and providing comfort for his future family, for it. So that's me, and for me. However, as I grew older, I began to really understand why my father shared with me these stories. My father was really doing a very important deed of reminding me about my roots, the origin story of my family, for I cannot begin to appreciate the significance of who I am here today and what I have achieved without first acknowledging that my hopes and dreams are really the products of my parents' actions, aspirations, and dreams. I am my parents' legacy, the same way Bernie and Razman were legacies of their own parents, and the same way you are also a legacy of someone who came before you. And it's this very understanding of this that has formed the theme of our event today. So before we can even begin to hope for a better future, that it is also important for us to remember and acknowledge the legacy that has been passed on to us. And so, before I share anything about YTAR's aspirations now or for the future, allow me first to begin with YTAR's early years. And it was 8th of February 1966. A man turned 63. But this was just not any other man. This was almarhum Tunku Abdul Rahman, Malaysia's first Prime Minister, as you would all know, and also this iconic symbol of independence and liberty. Tunku was one of many key leaders in Malaysian history that has advocated for Malaysia, where everyone from all backgrounds, regardless of race, religion, and class, may have the same access to opportunities and to prosper. And so, on the occasion of his 63rd birthday, the Malay language newspaper then Utusan Melayu set out on a fundraising campaign to set out an education fund called the Tabung Pendidikan Tunku Abdul Rahman to provide for the higher education of Malay youth in his honor. This effort quickly gained support from large swaths of the Malaysian public. And mind you, this was 3 years after the formation of a new federation we call Malaysia. And in its nascent years, the Malaysian government then was moved not only to institutionalize the Tabung as an independently fundraised fund, but also to expand its access to all Malaysians, regardless of color or creed, in line with Tunku's aspirations. And with the passage of the Tunku Abdul Rahman Foundation Fund Act of 1966, the Tunku Abdul Rahman Foundation was born. And so for the next 6 decades, the foundation held the steadfast to maintaining Tunku's legacy, one that enables opportunities for all youth in Malaysia. And it's against this backdrop, the why of our work, and then only can I begin to share with you the what of our work. Since 1966, the foundation provided assistance to almost 9,000 students in the form of loans, financial assistance, and scholarships. In particular, the foundation introduced the Tunku Abdul Rahman Scholarship, or YTAR for short, a prestigious, full merit-based scholarship awarded to high-achieving students called Tunku Scholars, to pursue their studies locally. And since its inception, it has produced many alumni pursuing leadership positions and doing incredible work. For example, with us today, Daniel Rahman, who is the CEO of Asian Strategy and Leadership Institute, as well as Dr. Patrick, Deputy Principal at Singapore International School, among many others as here today. But now, the world as we know it has changed. Inequality in Malaysia has widened in the last 50 years, as we see Malaysia's absolute income gap between an average top 20% earner and that of a bottom 40% earner expand from about 3,300 ringgit in 1970 to 13,200 ringgit in 2016. In other words, the world of today is far more unequal for youth compared to the world 50 years ago. Upward social mobility becomes especially challenging for youth from underrepresented backgrounds to attain as income inequality compounds inequalities in other aspects of higher education access, where students from low-income families continue to face barriers such as a lack of resource, support system, which therefore makes higher education unattainable. Secondly, the world has never evolved as quickly as it did in the past decade. It is no longer enough for youth to have education qualifications. They must now attain crucial leadership skills to survive an increasingly volatile and competitive world. And again, for youth from underrepresented backgrounds who lack the social, financial capital, as well as the safety net to seize opportunities. And for them, while the bar for excellence has been raised for young students from a different or a further starting point, this bar is now even further out of reach. Lastly, beyond the need for a cadre of highly skilled youth, the pursuit of societal progress for Malaysia requires youth to also be infused with strong values and civic consciousness. We must build a generation of compassionate individuals to serve the interests of the self, but also the others. For youth from underrepresented backgrounds, that means not only providing an equal and fair opportunity for them to succeed in society, but also strengthening their agencies as leaders who can capitalize on their own unique experiences to drive change in their own communities. It is these challenges and potential that have brought YTAR to a new frontier, as we must now contend with a crucial question: how do we modernize the foundation's legacy and relevance so we can continue to renew a path for Malaysian youth to succeed? And it's in the pursuit of answering this question that the foundation has now undertaken a bolder mandate. While the core focus of higher education access shall be preserved, we now seek to do so through a renewed vision of building a thriving, equitable, and inclusive society where every person will achieve the full potential of themselves and the nation. This is a society which recognizes that an equal society must necessarily be an equitable one. And so that each and every one of us has a duty to address systemic injustices, to level the playing field for all so that no youth shall be held back by the circumstances of their birth. A Malaysia or a society where youth embrace the diversity of their identities as the foundation of our strength and progress, to be fully acknowledged, celebrated, and included in our collective imagination of what Malaysia should be. A society where all youth are hopeful, empowered, and aspirational leaders who will make this imagination a reality. And as such, YTAR now sets out on a mission to empower high potential and deserving youth through 3 pillars. First, we want to support students to access higher education. So by bringing in Closing the Gap, a previously independent 2-year mentoring and development program, we hope to empower students with the skills, the knowledge, and the mindset to attain higher education and achieve their fullest potential. We believe that our Closing the Gap scholars, when given the right opportunity, role model, and compass to navigate their lives, can beat the odds and achieve whatever goals they set for themselves. Whether that be ZU, who is currently pursuing a degree in math and economics in Hong Kong University, Marcella, who received a full scholarship to pursue the IB program at the United World Colleges in Changshu, China. Maithili, who pursued a basic emergency medical technician program. Or Rahman, who entered University Malaya on a Khazanah Muatan scholarship. And while the finishing line may be important, the journey matters just as much. Through closing the gap, we want to equip our scholars not only to identify and strive for their own destinations, but also to strengthen their core competencies needed to drive self-efficacy and personal growth, as well as the attitudes and beliefs that will springboard them forward. Secondly, we want to enable youth to thrive in higher education. And to this end, YTAR embarks on a journey to rethink the Tunku Abdul Rahman Scholarship offering so that we can now identify and support youth, especially from underrepresented backgrounds, through a combination of comprehensive financial support and capacity building to excel in higher education and develop as young leaders. Equity, an acknowledgement that everyone has different starting points owing to diverse backgrounds and needs to succeed, now underscores the new philosophy of our scholarship selection and recruitment approach, where we have departed from rigid benchmarks of academic and core curricular requirements to a holistic and broader assessment of leadership that takes into account candidates' needs, mission, and value fit, personal ambition, and most importantly, experience overcoming life challenges. Oftentimes, an equitable approach is seen as coming at the expense of championing excellence, but we think this is misguided. Excellence can look like a 4.0 CGPA. It can look like an illustrious string of leadership roles and an ability to speak with eloquence and high cultural capital. But excellence can and should also look like Nicholas, who is the first in his village to go to university. It is Aisha Maisara, who manages multiple businesses to support her family and excels in her studies. Mayuran, who sold cars so that he could earn his money to fulfill his dream of attaining a law degree. Aisha Fatiha, who championed literacy intervention program through My Readers, helping children unlock new horizons with their first words. But identifying potential is only one part of the bigger picture. Leaders are not born, but nurtured. So all Tunku scholars now are trained under a 2-year structured leadership program, devised to provide them firstly with the employability skills to succeed in their career, secondly, service leadership mindset and capabilities to deliver meaningful projects that benefit society, as well as the ethics and values inspired by Tunku himself, such as unity and compassion that will form their lifelong moral compass. Success of the program is measured not just by academic performance or co-curricular growth. Those are important, but more importantly, the strengthening of their personal values and competencies, their ability to raise socioeconomic standards for themselves, and finally, their readiness to become alumni advocates of our shared mission. We believe that potential has many faces. Recognizing and harnessing these faces does not diminish the prestige of our scholarship, but removes and unshackles it from a narrow interpretation of excellence coded in social standing and privilege, allowing us the freedom to embrace one that is holistic and diverse. If prestige is fundamentally about respect and admiration, what could be more respectable and admirable than Dinesh, who had to face multiple rejections before he finally got his offer to go pursue higher education in UTM, to where he is now, reading a master's in law at Harvard Law School? Or Vivian, who had to travel by boat from her long house to the nearby town to access the internet for online classes, but has since now supported students from underserved communities in Betok, Sarawak, through an initiative set up alongside her peers Khadijah and Hezron called Educate, to support and inspire students to continue their education. Thirdly, we also want to support youth to succeed in society beyond higher education. And starting in 2021, we introduced the Future Ready program in collaboration with Accenture Asia to provide university students with future-proof skills, particularly in the professional industries, through a 3-month immersive training program. We also begin to provide sponsorship for youth to pursue TVET education or vocational education. But this pillar is a constant work in progress. We always invite new ideas and resources to advance our existing plans or start new ones. You can say that our work has become just that bit bigger, and while the team is small, the bigness of our work has been made possible with the support of the incredible people in this room today. From corporate partners such as AHAM Asset Management, Asia Philanthropy Circle, OSK Foundation in Central Malaysia, to university partners like University of Nottingham, YTAR UTP, and many more. Allies from the ministry, mentors, alumni, and volunteers who have channeled your resources and trust. Because of your commitment to hope, just over the last 4 years itself of putting this new approach in place, we have been able to achieve these. Because of your belief in a fairer and compassionate Malaysia, we can now aspire to raise our impact further so that more opportunities can be afforded to deserving youth, not only to attain liberty and dignity, but the power to imagine a legacy that they can leave behind. But today is not just about remembering the legacy that we have inherited. It's also about the new legacy that we will forge. So as we eagerly look to the future, we aspire to extend our impact to over 1,000 more students within the next 5 years. But on our own, we can only do so much. And so, consider this an open invitation from me to yourselves here to be part of or continue to be part of our work. How, you may ask? Well, firstly, if you believe that high potential secondary school students, especially from underrepresented backgrounds, deserve the opportunity to access higher education, to have access to capacity building opportunities and grow as young ambitious individuals, to give them inspiring role models and mentors to lift them along the way, consider sponsoring or donating towards our 2024 Closing the Gap program. If you believe in empowering and inspiring individuals not only to afford higher education, but to grow and thrive as a service-centered and values-driven Malaysian young leader, consider sponsoring a Tunku Scholar through our beasiswa Tunku Abdul Rahman. Be a partner to our scholarship and let us help you identify, reward, and develop deserving students from across Malaysia, not as future leaders, but as leaders today. And lastly, help us spread the word to friends and friends of friends who would resonate with the stories and aspirations that Bernie, Cosman, and I have shared today, or share with us how you'd like to get involved, because we need all the help we can get. You have been invited here today because in some way or another, my team and I have had the privilege of crossing paths with you. And in those moments, we have been struck by how each of us share a sense of mission and belief in the untapped potential of young people. We see that not only in the work that you do, but also in the personal conviction that you embody. The journey of building a thriving, equitable, and inclusive Malaysia, where every person in this room will achieve the full potential of yourselves, our communities, and nation, will be a long one. But with you, we can close the gap just a little bit more, one individual at a time. With you, we can unlock the potential of our youth so that we can unleash the possibilities of our nation. Thank you.